Hey, how's it going? My name is Joe Allen. I'm an independent creative specialising in design, photography and all things creative in between. This is a video that's been widely requested, and as promised for reaching 1,000 subscribers, I am here today filming what is in my camera bag. So make sure to stick around to the end. There's going to be a competition, but before that I'm going to be going through my cameras, lenses, accessories and the bags that everything is held within. Hopefully along the way there'll be some little tips that will be of use to some people. Stick around and I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get started. So I actually carry 3 camera bags. This is the LOWEPRO Fastpack 250. This is the LOWEPRO Transit 350 all weather. And this is the LOWEPRO CompuTrekker all weather. So all 3 bags are made by LOWEPRO. I highly recommend them. The quality is incredible. Everything from the stitching to the features that actually are within the bag is amazing. I've had some of these bags for a few years now and honestly there's nothing that's gone wrong with them. They are superb. Now depending on what trip I'm going for depends on which bag I'll be taking. So if I need pretty much everything, then most likely I'll be taking the CompuTrekker. It's huge, it carries a massive amount of stuff, but with that it's heavy. Then there's the Transit 350. I use this if I'm going somewhere, say like on a city trip or something. It's big enough, it's got a full opening to carry a lot of equipment, but it's not too big, and also it's kind of discreet. It doesn't look that much like a camera bag. Then I have the Fastpack 250. Now I use this if I'm going somewhere that I need half and half on camera equipment and say some other equipment or technology, or maybe, I don't know, like jumper, lunch and things like that. This is very much a lightweight bag that I use as a quick grab and go. For today though, I'm going to be going through my CompuTrekker. Everything that I'm going to be showing you is pretty much within here. I've got a few other things duplicated within these bags, but it's mostly about this bag here. So let's open it up and see what's inside. As I mentioned, this bag carries a massive amount of stuff. So within here I've got a couple of bodies and various lenses and other accessories and bags. So let's go through the stuff. So my main camera is the Canon 70D. Now I like to have the battery grip on here just because I like to have the standard controls here as well as the portrait grip. I also find that when you're using it with heavier lenses, it actually balances quite nicely because you've got the extra weight at the back. You can kind of balance an image a lot better. On this camera, I've got the Canon 70-200 f2.8L Mark II. Now I actually originally hired this lens when I was going to the Olympics, and I loved it so much that I actually went and bought one just before the Paralympics. It's an incredible lens. It's so fast, super sharp, and it's just such a beast. I love it. I use this lens the majority of the time when I'm doing things like sports photography, wildlife, or nature and things like that. It's also great for portraits. Generally, just anything that you can use this lens for, go for it. It will deliver time and time again. Now the reason I have the 70D is because I do a lot of video work as well as photo work, and this is so good for video, especially having the flip out screen. Now originally I thought that this would maybe be a bit of a gimmick, but actually having a flip out display is really great for video work, because if you're doing anything low down, you can look on your display amazingly, or up high and you've got angles for everything. Also having the touchscreen is great for fast focus. I honestly love this for video, it's very good. Also when I'm doing sports photography, having 7 frames a second is pretty good for this level of camera. I'd love to have something like a 1DX, which you can do like 10-11 frames a second, or a 7D Mark II even, which is 10 frames a second. That's hopefully what I'll upgrade to pretty soon, and possibly even a 5D as well. But for everything that I need, I love this 70D. As I'm sure you've read plenty of times, it's not necessarily about the equipment you have, it's the way you use it. So this is my body of choice. Now my backup or secondary camera is my old Canon 50D. Similar to the 70D, I also have the battery grip on here, and this is very reliable. Even though it's a few years old, it's just a pretty great camera to have running alongside my 70D. Now quite often I'll have the 2 over both shoulders. I'll maybe have like a wide angle on one lens and a long 70-200 on the other lens, depending on the event. Or if I'm going somewhere that I'm only going to be using one camera, but I may have this as a backup just in case something goes wrong with this one. Now let's pull out some lenses. So this is the 24-70 f2.8L from Canon, and this is a pretty great lens as a standard everything. It's wide enough to get the majority of the shots that you need. It's got a decent enough zoom to 70, which of course then can continue on to 70 to 200 in my other lens, so I'm not missing any focal range there. And it's just a great all-round lens, super sharp. The only downside I have about this lens is that it's a little bit slow in terms of focusing in the dark. That's literally the only problem I have with it. Hopefully the Mark II version, which I may upgrade to, is a lot better at that, but for an everyday lens, this is a premium product. To cover a lot of my wide angle shots that I need maybe on interiors or things like that for super wide, this is the Sigma 10-20. I believe it's a f3.5 to 5.6, so it's not that great in terms of the wide aperture, but it's a pretty robust lens. I don't use it a great amount, but if I do need something that needs to be super wide, this is what I'll go for. The Nifty 50. Pretty much everyone needs to have one of these. This is the Canon 50mm f1.4. So rather than going for the 1.8, which is quite plasticky and cheap, I went for the 1.4. It's got a better build quality, it's pretty durable, but it's still only around £300. It's, you know, it's not breaking the bank like the 1.2L, and it's a super sharp lens. With it being 1.4, it's pretty fast and pretty wide open for dark nighttime shots. Portraiture is amazing with this. I love this lens. Every day is pancake day when you've got a couple of pancake lenses. So this is the Canon 40mm f2.8, and this is its little brother, the 24mm f2.8. These are pretty cheap lenses. They're kind of knockabout lenses. They're like 100 quid or something like that. But the quality for the price is incredible. These are very sharp across the board. I actually used this 40mm for the majority of the filming in my Paris video. You should check that out on my channel, and you can see that it's pretty small, so it's nice and portable. I can just whip it out of the bag really easily, and it's kind of just on point with everything. It's great. So those are all my current lenses that I'm using, and let's have a look at some other things. Next up, I've got a flash. So I'm not really much of a strobist photographer, but if I do need to use a flash, this is what I have. This is the Canon SPEEDLITE 430EX. Again, I don't really use it that often, but if I do need a flash, there it is. These little bags from LOWEPRO are very useful in terms of just holding random bits of everything. So in here I've got all of my chargers that I use. And you'll notice that on my chargers I just label them by the camera just because they do look pretty similar, and when you're in a hurry you need to grab the first one fast. So there's those ones. And then of course there's the cables and everything in here as well. Over here I've just got a wireless remote and trigger. So this just kind of sits on the camera using the hot shoe, and then I can trigger things either for a 2-second timer or for bulb, or just press away and go. I generally use this if I was doing long exposures or nighttime shots or anything that's on a tripod where you don't really want any camera shake. In all of my bags I've got some cleaning equipment. So this is just a standard blow rocket for cleaning the sensor. And of course a microfiber cloth. Just got some end body caps for the lens and camera. The diffuser for the flash, and then also a fabric diffuser. I have my GoPro Hero 4 Silver in here. Now I've got the silver version because it's got the screen on the back. I find it super useful in terms of composing a shot and also reviewing playback afterwards. I would love to have the black version. I've got the Hero 3 black version accessible to me as well, but this is my current Hero 4. In this bag I've just got some of the other accessories for GoPro equipment, so some other mounts, the waterproof back door, and of course the wireless remote. This is something that's very useful. So when I'm using my 70 to 200, I can spin up the tripod foot round to the top, And then I've got this little mount here, which just has a reverse tripod mount on the other end, and it screws into the top. That then allows me to attach a GoPro. And you may have seen in some of my other videos, particularly with the Royal Parks Half Marathon, I actually was taking photos with a GoPro attached to the top, just like this, so that I could get video and photos at the same time. This is another bag from LOWEPRO, and in here I've just got some further GoPro accessories and some other doors and mounts and cables. This is a little bag I got from Canon. I can't actually remember what the bag is for, but inside it's nice and coated with microfiber coating. And I have a glass prism. Now I use this if I'm outside and I want to get some crazy light effects. I can just hold this in front of the lens. Works great if I'm filming or if I'm taking photos. And the light just comes in and splits out various different ways. So you get some crazy artifacts of light rays and stuff, which is quite nice. I think I picked this up on Amazon for like £6 or something like that. It took quite a while for it to be delivered, like literally about 2 months. I forgot that I ordered it, but it arrived in one piece. These are just some wind shields. So I've got my Rode VideoMic Pro, and it's for the Zoom H4n. So this is just a dead cat and a dead kitten. Those are industry terms, I haven't killed anything. That just allows me to protect the microphone when wind blowing on it, so it's not gonna be loud and distorted. You're gonna get crisp audio. My microphones are actually being used right now to film this, so that's why they're not being shown. This is just a little handle that I use occasionally with GoPro. I just screw it in like that, and then I've got a nice handle that you can walk around with. It's pretty discreet, nice and small. I also use it on my microphone sometimes if I need to point directional microphone and get some good audio. And this is a card reader, so it's always good to have a fast card reader. This is a compact flash card reader. If you've seen in my desk setup video, you'd have noticed that on my desk I have a USB 3 compact flash and SD card reader. This is just my go-to one on the run. If I'm out and about, likelihood is that I'll have my MacBook Pro with me, which of course has an SD card reader on the side, so I don't actually need to carry another one. I could take my USB 3 one if I want a super fast one whilst I'm out, but generally it's okay. And this is just in a pouch from Digital Rev. It's probably worth pointing out that a lot of my equipment I have actually bought through Digital Rev. Their delivery times are second to none. I ordered something last year on Easter weekend and it was delivered on Easter Monday. That's all the way from Hong Kong to London. That blew my mind. Shout out to Digital Rev. I love everything they're doing. It's just incredible stuff. So I guess I'll pack all of this away and then show you through the other accessories that I carry. So I'll just spin it around to show you what's in this section. So in here, I have a series of filters. Got things ranging from, I think, 1 stop all the way up to 4 or 5 stop differences. And of course, this is the lens attachment that will go on the front of the lens, and then you can just slot your filters in, and then you can stop light out for daytime long exposures or video work that's maybe too bright and things like that. We've also got in here a tape measure. And this tape measure is in here for when I go to events that have restrictions on the length of lens size that you're allowed to bring. Now it has come up in the past when I've gone somewhere and they've said you're only allowed a lens that is 6 inches or less. And my lens has been, say, 4 inches. And they've turned me away and said, no, you can't bring this in. So by having a measuring tape, you can actually say, no, like, play by the rules that you've set out. This is actually the length of my lens. I'm perfectly allowed to take this in. That way you don't have to let your expensive lens and camera equipment go into their cheapo, not well maintained lockup, and you can have your camera with you at all times and also get decent photos whilst you're at the event. So it's great to play by the rules because they have to as well. In the top part, I always have a notebook with me. So this is just a Moleskine. And the reason I have this is because if ever I need to make notes about a particular shoot that I'm doing, the location, the time, things like that. If I need to get details of a person that I've just taken a photo of and I need to contact them at a later date for model release form, it's generally a lot more personal to do it with a notebook and have them write things down than it is to do it on a smartphone and be paying attention to a device. It just looks a bit rude, I find. Of course you need a pen for that, so I've just got a fiber tip pen. And I have a Sharpie. Never really know when you're going to need a permanent pen, but they are always handy to have. I've actually got gaffer tape just wrapped around this. Again, you never know when you're going to need gaffer tape. Now gaffer tape, as opposed to duct tape, is kind of a photographer's best friend, really. It doesn't leave any sticky residue, but I'm sure you've already worked that out from plenty of other photography videos that you've watched. And I've also got a series of postcards. Now I like to have postcards rather than business cards, just because I find that the larger size actually means that people are more likely to remember you, and they may actually use the postcard for something else, whether it's a bookmark or they might stick it on your wall or something like that. A business card can sometimes be a bit throwaway, and also you're a photographer, show your photos. So this business card just kind of has my information on it, very similar to my YouTube header image, and then I've also got just a little bit about me and links and stuff to social networks that people can go and search for me. So now if we just have a look in the last few compartments of this bag. So in the top zip area, a set of gloves. Now these are for winter when you're out and about and you need access to your camera but you don't really want to be wearing a thick pair of gloves. So I've just got some thin gloves, and they're actually touchscreen enabled as well, so I can use it on smartphones and the back of the cameras, which is very useful. Series of grey cards for white balance and focusing and things like that. They're just on a little lanyard, so they're just always there in the bag. Carry around a little pass adapter, so if I get a press pass for something, then I can just slot it in there, and if I need to have it displayed, I can pin it to me just like this. Just some memory card holders, and it wouldn't be a camera bag without batteries. It's always great to have a lot of batteries. I actually like to tape my batteries together in twos. Generally you'd only really need batteries in multiples of 2 anyway, but the reason that I tape them is because I know which ones I've used and which ones I haven't used. So the ones that are all taped, they're fresh batteries, and the ones that are untaped and loose in the bag, they're the ones that need to either be recharged or disposed of sensibly. Some more batteries. I always have a pack of tissues with me. I get a horrendous amount of nosebleeds almost any time of the year. It's ridiculous. If I ever do get a nosebleed, I'm not going to get blood everywhere. Now, as I mentioned, 2 of my bags are all weather protected. That means that they've got this little cover that comes across and protects you from rain and dust and things like that. So just loop it over your bag, pull it tight, and when it's on your back, it's nice and protected. This is a feature of LOWEPRO bags and many other camera bags, and I'd pretty much always buy a bag that has a rain cover with it. You never know when you're going to need it, especially in Britain. Another great feature of this bag is the built-in tripod holder. So with this, you can have a tripod that will sit through here and into there. My tripod is actually being used to film this right now, so I can't actually show you that, but it works really well. So that is my main camera bag. So I'm just going to show you some other bits and bobs throughout my other camera bags that are also useful to know. Now, as for memory cards, it's very important to have a set of memory cards that are extremely fast and valuable to your needs. So I only ever use SANDISK, and I've never had a problem with them. I always use the extreme card version, and honestly, why change something that isn't broken? So I'm probably going to stick with SANDISK for a long time. I quite often carry a Instax 300 wide with me. Now these are Fujifilm's answer to the Polaroids of yesteryear. These are just great for taking instant photos. You've just got a memory there and then, and they're just nice and playful. And I've actually got a couple of stickers on mine, so I've just got take more photos and smile. And also I've put the Canon strap on there just because it's a bit longer and it's easier to just sling over your shoulder. I realised I didn't actually mention earlier the camera strap I use. So This is the BLACKRAPID YETI. Now it's very similar to the sport version in a sense that it's a single strap and you can have a second strap that kind of comes under your shoulder. So you can have two cameras hanging off of the one shoulder. You just clip in the camera just here, and then that will just swing down like this and you can just bring it up to take photos. The reason I use the BLACKRAPID is because they're pretty fast in terms of getting quick access to your camera. I can have two cameras off the same strap, but also when I'm doing film work, I don't necessarily want to have the strap in the way, so I like to have the camera without any straps at all. The quick release on there just makes it super easy to be able to take a strap on and off. As far as tripods and stands go, I quite often take a GORILLAPOD with me. Now this is pretty lightweight and it just wraps around anything that you need, and I quite often just have it wrapped around the strap of my camera. I barely notice it's there. When I do need it, I can just get it out and there it is, nice and small. If I'm shooting sport, I may take a monopod. This is the MANFROTTO 680B, and I've just got my old camera strap on here, again, so I can just sling it over my shoulder and just carry it nice and easily. Occasionally, I'll take this with me. Now this is a thing called the SPIDERHOLSTER, and what you can do is you can just have a camera slot in like this and just hang on your waist. It's pretty great for when you've got multiple cameras. You might have one around your neck and another one just on your waist like this, and you can quickly grab it if you need a shorter lens or a longer lens or whatever you're currently using. It's got a nice feature where you can just lock it so that it can't actually come out as well. So that's pretty much it for the majority of my camera equipment that I carry with me. I do have other things as well for video work, but this is generally for my photography work. Now, I mentioned before that there would be a competition for those who stick around to the end. So thanks for staying this far. For my competition, to celebrate the path towards 3,000 subscribers, I thought I would give away a photo print of your choice from my portfolio. So to enter, all you need to do is just share this video with the hashtag JA3K, and when I reach 3,000 subscribers, I will choose someone at random. They'll be able to then choose any of my photos and I will send that out to them, and you can frame it and hang it up on your wall and do anything you like with it. I'm super stoked how fast my channel's growing. It's ridiculous. It's honestly blown me away. I'm so happy to be part of this YouTube community. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Make sure to also check out my social networks. I'm pretty much on everything around these days. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. All right, goodbye. Boom.